Hi, there's lots of videos on the internet about how to install a bidet toilet seat that has a tap on the outside, but as you can see from our toilet, there is no tap. So in order to install an in-system install, you need a slightly different kit. Down here on the tray in front of me is all of the bits that you will need and one of the bits that you won't. If they ship your bidet toilet seat with one of these, the important treatment is to throw it away. Once you've thrown it away, the remaining parts of the toilet seat are actually pretty easy to install. In order to start the installation, you need to get the metal T-junction that ships as standard with most bidet toilet seats. It's going to be easy to install because it has a rotating nut on the top, whereas this little piece that I threw away earlier does not. So when you get it into your system, you're going to find you can turn it about 3/4 of a turn before it becomes completely useless. In order to make this T-junction work, the bidet section of it will screw onto this piece, the regular toilet section will screw onto the bottom part, and that will give you a separate outlet that you can then plumb from your toilet through. So if you come into the toilet, it's not difficult. I am by no means a plumbing genius. You start by lifting off the top of the toilet. Once you've done that, you'll see inside there is a tap. Before you start unscrewing anything, it's really important that you turn this tap off. And then if you don't like sticking your hands into a wet toilet, I suggest you flush it, which will lower the toilet water to a level where you can deal with it. Once that happens, there's a nut underneath this that we need to undo. And to do that, we need a wrench. The shifting spanner was pretty much the easiest thing to use for this, and learned while I was doing it that most of the toilet fittings seem to screw and unscrew backwards to every other thread you'll find in life. So rather than righty-tighty, lefty-loosey, in this case, if you turn to the right, you'll find you'll be able to unscrew it. Once you've unscrewed this section, you're then ready to add your T-junction to the install. This little piece here basically screws onto the bottom of the existing inlet. Once you've got that hand tight, you can then reattach the regular water supply to the bottom of it. Once that one's done up with your fingers, you can then figure out how to tighten it with a wrench. Basically, you want the nut, top and bottom of the T-junction to be tight so that you don't inadvertently flood your bathroom with toilet water. As I said before, not a lot of room inside a system, but if you work carefully, it is possible to tighten these suckers. Okay, once the T-junction is in place, you'll see now there's a new outlet below. You can then use the first of the plastic sprockets to attach the white tube. Thin white tube is shipped as standard with an insistent install, but you need to let the shop know that it's insistent. In order to install it, you slide the sprocket over and squeeze this end into the head. Word from the wise, don't cut the tube until you finish fitting it, because you'll find that you need a certain length for the installation to work comfortably, and without it it's a real pain. Once this guy's in, tightening it up will actually tighten the thread in the top, and it just screws onto the remaining socket. And you'll find as you tighten the plastic sprocket that the tube starts to stick to it. It's normal, you just got to rotate it out of your way until you get this fitting tight. Once it's tight, you can then pop the lid back on your system, but don't, because at this point you're then going to want to cut the tube so it's the right length for the other end. So there's a couple of other pieces they don't talk about in the installation that I've got here. If you best guess how much tube you'll need, you basically need the white piece of tube to reach the outlet on the toilet. You're going to need a bit less than that by the time you do the installation. But they give you one of these, which is an inline filtration system to stop sediment from going into your bowl. And basically, you want to connect that before you connect the other end. So you'll find this end heaps easier to put on, and again it just works the same as the other. So you push out the center lug, stick this bit in the end, and then when you screw this on, it will tighten. This one I found a bit easier to do with the filter out, because if the filter is attached to the seat, then you have to twist the whole pipe while you're installing it. Once that's done, the filter then goes directly as a screw thread onto the exposed end of your bit AC. And there you have it. Once that happens, you can then turn your water back on in the toilet. If you've done it successfully, only the system fills up. If you've done it unsuccessfully, the whole room fills up. And once it's done, it'll fill up the toilet system again, and pop the lid back on. Take your toilet seat into the electrical outlet that hopefully you installed before you bought it. And voila, shiny new space toilet.